Welcome back, brick fans, to Rascal Bricks. This will be probably box number 8, if I'm not mistaken, that we'll be sorting through. And my last one, the box number 7, didn't really have anything interesting and new to it, much different than what we've already come through. So, I may make the decision to not air certain videos just because of that fact. I want to keep it interesting. I want to keep it, new for people, anybody who's actually watching through all of these. I'm sorry, by the way. No, I'm just kidding. um, you know, so I may end up skipping certain boxes just because there wasn't anything in there significant. I mean, in the last one, we did have the boat that's down there at the bottom, at the beginning. One of the things I forgot to do at the end of the last video is I forgot to show you exactly what my reject box is currently looking at, or the Goodwill box, and this is where I'm at right now. As you can see, it's starting to get a significant number. So this will be the loss that I would be, outside of this and trash. This would be the loss that would be considered in doing this process. When it comes to buying in bulk, you buy by weight, right, by pound, and you hope to get a good deal on price per pound. And obviously, trash and non-Lego bricks goes against that. So, in the end, it'll be what's down here, what's in the other box that I had for the first few videos. That will be what is the, and even then, there's certain pieces that'll end up coming out in the wash process just because I find pieces I missed or whatever, but nowhere near as much as I will find in this process, in this sortation process. That's why I go through this at the beginning. The number that comes out of the wash process that might be rejected or whatnot is going to be almost insignificant compared to what we've got here. So anyway, to get started on the next box, we'll go with box number 8 here. I'm going to go ahead and open it. See if any surprises are in this one for us. All right, let's see what we got here at the very beginning. Some brand new bags, of course. Some decent sized ones, which are nice. Don't know, of course, if these all belong together. I just pulled out 2, 4, and this is 5. Don't know if they all belong to the same set or not without looking that up. But, we do, we do have some that might be it for the new bags. I might find some smaller ones towards the bottom. I am seeing quite a number of builds in here, semi-builds, which is nice. They make things easier for pulling pieces apart, segregating them. Somebody was having, oh, you know what? I was going to say somebody was having fun with this, but then I just realized this almost looks like a rock climbing wall, right? Let me make sure the camera's focusing correctly in the right location. Yeah, this almost looks like a rock climbing wall now that I look at it at this aspect. So this might have been a set. Instead, I was going to say it looks like somebody was having some fun with some of the pieces, but that actually almost looks planned. So, interesting. How is everyone doing this wonderful day? It's currently raining outside where I'm at, so that's why I'm inside doing this instead of outside doing chores, as my wife would prefer me doing. Oh, look at this. Wow. Goodness, rarely ever do we see, or you know, have we got, this is our second almost fully intact minifigure from these Goodwill boxes. So like I said, they do miss them in their sortation, in their filtering process for trying to find these. So we'll throw that down there at the bottom. Yeah, you do find them, which is nice. And then somebody obviously put all these together. Now, when I do take these apart because they're larger and wash them individually, but when I come across those smaller treads, I will leave those typically connected together because it's just easier to handle. It'll be almost impossible to grip, even attempt to wash them when they're in their smaller phase. Yeah, somebody tried stacking all these 2x8s, which I don't necessarily, makes things a little more difficult for me because these can be a pain to get off, but if I have to use the removal tool, I will. That's what it's for. Now, I've not seen this color yellow. I mean, we have in this sortation, but in this grouping of boxes, prior to this group of boxes, though, before I started these videos and this whole YouTube thing, I had not seen this color yellow before. This is the, like I said, they always seem to come out with new colors and whatnot. Makes my sortation by color process a little more difficult too, but it is what it is. So stairs, right? They're supposed to do that. They spread out. I don't know if that's done on purpose with sets, like there's supposed to be like a secret staircase, and then all of a sudden they turn and there you go. But or if that's just the way they're built. But it's a pretty neat way that they do this, all based upon this bar here in the center. Looks like somebody had a little hopscotch set of some sorts. Oh, we got another little plastic bag of pieces. Interesting. Some form of hook. Don't think that's a Lego. That might be, but I doubt it. The color just doesn't look right for their silver, and the quality of the plastic may or may not be. It just doesn't look like their edges are a little sharp or things along that nature. I'm gonna put this to the side for brake link, but I don't think that is, unless it's a duplo piece, in which case that would make sense. And that would also make sense as to why the edges aren't as sharp, things along that nature, because, they're for young children. You don't want sharp edges. Another little baggie. Any pieces. Again, so far this box / bag seems to be in fairly good order. Pieces look pretty clean. Some of them almost brand new. Might be brand new, just were opened. Never assembled. I'm not seeing a lot of markings, dirt, etc. on these pieces. All good. Interesting. So this may not be Lego. Neither it might be this, because I don't see a Lego branded trademark on the inside of this, and this has a number on it right there, 7 in the inside of that, but no Lego mark. I'm going to put these aside for break link, but I don't think either one of those is, just because they're not marked. It just goes to show, though, well, the one piece I have not seen out of a Lego before. This one I've not seen a double-sided piece like that out of Lego before. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I've just not seen it. This I've seen many times, and yeah, they're imitating it if this isn't a Lego. To the exact detail almost. Obviously, they can't put the Lego trademark on there because that would be outright fraud. And that's not something a company will typically risk doing, for the very reason of they can get in big trouble for that. And sued and, you know, things along that nature. Not a fan of this yellow, I have to say. And, I don't know, maybe. If it were to glow in the dark, that'd be kind of cool. But, I don't know. It's a little mucusy to me or something along that nature. Have to see it maybe in a set. Make you change your mind. See, even here, they've branded this Lego here, down here at the bottom. There we go, focus. Down here at the bottom, they've, all right, come on, camera. Yeah, so they've branded the Lego down here at the bottom. And so, I've never seen that piece before either. I can say it's a Lego easily enough. Now see, the brand is in over here. On their other ones, they put it in that little square section. If I compare this one next to it, you can kind of see the difference. I don't know if the camera's focusing well enough, or maybe if I turn it on an angle, but there are 2 small circles on either side of the center nub here on the white one, but not on the black one. And I'm going to look really, really, really close outside of camera view real quick in the light to just make sure that I don't see a Lego. Yeah, I don't. So, this one is not Lego. This one is Lego. And so this one I'm going to throw into the Goodwill box. Along with that double-sided, well, no, I'll still question that double-sided piece that we had, just in case it was attached, you know, but I have a feeling that it's not. We haven't, thankfully, encountered any super glued pieces since that one box. So far, not saying we still won't, but that seems to so far have been the limit of super glued pieces and the damage that that makes difficulty for me. I guess this bag is just filled with a lot of just single pieces and not very many builds. It's going to take a little longer to get you through. Huh, I got a little ice cream thing or whatever in the center of that. There we go. It opens. Yeah, see, now I'm having a hard time trying to pop this center clear piece out, so I'll just leave that in there just because I don't want to damage, crack it, or stress it. This is definitely a Lego. I'm just was looking to make sure that this piece side over here didn't come apart from this side over here, but it doesn't. This doesn't look like a Lego. It looks like just a little toy. Oh, and it's rubbery. I can squish it. Might even be an eraser of some form. And I'm gonna chuck that into the Goodwill box. This is not a windshield. I think that pops into anything. It almost looks like a cover that snaps into something. I'm gonna put it in the Bricklink side, but I don't think that's a Lego either. I think that popped out of something other toy. Here we have this piece again. I think this was from video number 1 of the sortation videos anyway. More than likely this is a Lego piece, but I still haven't checked Bricklink, so I'm going to put that in the Bricklink pile. I probably really need to get to that. Now, because I found a piece like this that was imitated, I'm going to have to check every single one of those, you know. I mean, I already tried, but I have to pay more attention to it now. At least in this box. Again, that's my dog snoring in the background. He's laying right here next to me. He's older, I think 11 now, so he does a lot of sleeping nowadays. Still shows signs of being young though. He loves to play still and bounce around and run around the yard top speed, but he does do a lot of napping, which is perfect for a dog for us. I don't think this is a Lego piece. Again, silver doesn't seem just right. Could be Duplo. Doubt it though. Lego doesn't really do these sort of things in Duplo. This is probably a non-Lego piece from some other set. I'll put it in the Bricklink pile, but I don't think this is a Lego. Sometimes when I grab too many in my hand like this, it's almost like Jenga. You fear grabbing the wrong one and them all crashing down into the box below without you having a chance to look at them. Huh. Never seen a piece like this before. I do see the Lego logo though underneath. This is a Lego piece. I've never seen this one myself. Huh. I don't see the Lego brand on the center stud in the middle of this. I'll put this on brick, or, you know, for the check brick link pile. I definitely could tell this was a Lego piece. I mean, that's the face from the second movie, Queen, whatever I want to be, right? Which, you know, now that we're on the topic of the movie, loved the first one, right? Loved the first Lego movie. However, in one of those rare cases where the sequel actually turns out to be better than the original, that is the case with the Lego Movie 2. My wife and I agree. This is rubbery. Kind of looks like a Lego in that it's got that circular grip. It might even be branded. Gotta get it in some better light. No, I can't tell. I'm gonna put this in the brick link pile, but this is rubber. But it might be just because it has that circular portion for grip by a minifigure or through a bar area. Anyway, movies, right? Lego Movie 2. Both my wife and I agreed that we feel that the Lego Movie 2 was actually better than the original. It was funnier, and you know, I get that with the first one they had to explain the whole background thing and everything. So I think the first one, you know, appealed to a younger audience more so than the second one. The second one, I think, got to everyone. Not saying the first one, you know, like I said, I very much enjoyed the first one. And at the time, it was one of my favorite movies of all, you know, time. I have a list. Not saying it is the favorite of mine. That is not true. But it would make my top, you know, 20. But the second one might even make my top 10. I'd have to think about that. But yeah, the second one was much better than the first one. My wife loves, let's see here, this almost looks like, no, I was going to say it almost looks like it was bent on purpose, but I don't think it would be on an angle like that. It would be perfected. So this one's probably been bent. Yeah. I don't think they make any angle pieces like this, but I'm not seeing a stress mark. Usually when plastic bends, you'll see a stress mark down here at the base where the bend is. And I'm not seeing that. So I'm not going to attempt to bend it back right now. I'm actually going to put it in the bricklink pile for checking, just to verify that this isn't supposed to be done on purpose. I don't think it is. I think it's supposed to be straight. And if it is supposed to be straight, I will attempt to move it back into position without hopefully breaking, snapping, or causing a large stress mark to occur, and hopefully salvage it. But yeah, back to the movie. Yeah, the second one, it just was great. They're more so because some of the things, you know, you had to have watched other movies, other things to kind of get some of the jokes. You know, like with the whole Chris Pratt thing, right? Chris Pratt was the voice of, well, I mean, he was the voice of Emmett at the first movie too, but he was also the voice of technically the villain, which turned out to be, I'm not gonna, maybe I shouldn't give the movie away, so we won't say spoilers, but you know, he turned out to be the voice of the other guy. We'll just say that in the movie. And when they introduced him, you know, in the movie, they started showing, you know, he was a raptor trainer, things along that nature, and that those references all point towards some of the works that Chris Pratt has done, other movies, things along that nature, which I found to be hilarious because they weren't related to Lego in any real way. it was just some of the other movies and things that he had done, and you know, I thought that was pretty sly advertising there too, if you want to call it that. But yeah, that was one of the things that. I mean, then the other side of it is the whole Green Lantern and Superman um, relationship. Yeah, that was also very, very fantastic. Because I don't know, I completely see that actually occurring in the comics. I'm not read the Superman comics myself, or you know, I know enough about the MCU, or well, that's Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? But this isn't Marvel. That's his DC Comics. So I know I know enough about the DC Comics universe that I could be dangerous, but I'm not an expert in that field whatsoever. You know, I know that Batman was able to beat Superman at one point in the battles. You know, because of Superman's weakness to kryptonite. Kind of even comes out in the Batman versus Superman movie. But anyway, yeah, the second Lego movie was, in my opinion, better than the first. You know, they made a Batman Lego movie. It was okay. It wasn't as good as either of the two first, or either of the two Lego movies. Unfortunately, and you know, they haven't really made anything since, Lego wise, movie wise. I can't tell if that's a Lego or not seeing the Lego brand. I'll put that for the brick link pile. I'm hoping that they don't stop making Lego movies, you know, but I'm also, you know, I don't necessarily want it to turn into like Toy Story 4, 5, 6 sort of situation either. You know, I'd be fine with another Lego movie that didn't focus on Emmett, or that seemed to be resolved. You know, that seemed to be a good ending and a final ending for that story arc, right? I say they focus on one of the other characters, and or not even those characters, not even anything from those other than maybe some of the superheroes, you know, just like the Batman movie. Maybe do one that does some of the other comic book heroes. It reminds me of another joke from the movie that I appreciated. You know, Marvel not calling us back. You know, that's hilarious, because at the time, I think Disney was going through buying Marvel. But at the time when that movie came out, the second movie came out, I don't think they actually had owned up Marvel yet. So, to me, that was a really well done joke. You know, because maybe it was known that they were interested in it at the time, and it wasn't finalized. But it was great. Yeah, this bag is definitely a lot more already broken down pieces. I don't think that's a Lego, but we'll put it in the brick link pile to verify. I don't think it is. Ignore my dog licking himself to death over there. There's one of those turquoise brick separators. From what I read, actually, just a little background on these, the color differences. From my understanding, these are typically shipped with the sets that are supposed to be using that new plastic that Lego's trying with. It's supposed to be better on the environment than it's some form of a plant-based plastic. So I think that's why they ship those with these colors. And that usually applies to their plant sets. You know, like their botanical garden sets, basically. Because almost all their botanical garden sets are set with or made with that form of a plastic piece. Reason I know that is because I have a few, and it was in the instructor booklet with it. But that's what they were trying to do. I also know that I have yet to encounter paper plastic or paper. Oh, why is that wheel so? Oh, because it's not snapped in all the way. Interesting. Well, we're gonna leave that in there. Drop that. I don't think this is it might be, but I'll put that in the brickling pile. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So like this plastic here, they were switching to a paper bag. They're talking about switching to a paper bag outside for those as part of a helping the environment sort of thing as well. And I have yet to encounter those in any sets I've bought recently. They might be starting with the smaller sets. That would be understandable. But I very much appreciate LEGO for trying to help the environment out, because I do feel we as humans are doing a horrible job to the environment, especially when it comes to plastic waste. We just put everything in plastic. But again, I'm not going to get into any sort of ideals or anything like that with these videos, so we'll just leave that at that and continue on. Don't think this is a Lego either. Obviously, it looks like some sort of pin. It's fired out of something, more than likely. It's got a rubber tip, probably, so it doesn't do much damage, especially if it were to hit somebody in the eye. We all know kids like to aim things at the face. I think it's funny. I'm going to put this into the brickling pile, but I don't think that's a Lego piece either. My brickling pile is getting to be quite large. I'm going to have to take care of that here soon. I think I've said that already. And here's another one of those little cupcake looking pieces that I need to check. Nope, that's their angry face. I almost put that in the brickling pile for some reason. Those little cherry, excuse me, those little cherries that I just chucked in the box a few pieces ago, they remind me so much of the cherries from like Pac-Man. So much of those little cherries. And again, as I said in my intro video, I didn't have a lot of money growing up. My parents, I didn't have a lot of money growing up. I don't think this is a Lego, just because pretty sure they wouldn't have any pieces like this. I'm gonna put this in the brickling pile, but I don't think that's Lego. So, I didn't have, growing up in the 80s, other people would have the Super NES or the NES, or the Sega Genesis, and we eventually did manage to get a used one from a friend of an NES system. Eventually, we were well behind the times, though, with regards to that. And so there are only ability to play any games really came down to going to the arcade. And, you know, so I have fond memories of going to the arcade and playing Pac-Man on the arcade. I was never really good at it. Mostly because, you know, I wasn't there very often, you know, so you have to practice to become really good at those. Yeah, that was my this is a Lego window. But that was my foray into video gaming when I was young. At a certain point, before we even got our, this might be a, yep, it is a Lego. It's branded right there at the edge of the top. This is supposed to be like, it looks like the apocalypse, like armor that was in the second movie. But even before we got our first NES system, which again was a used one. Let's see, this one has a brand on the inside of the top of the headpiece, so that one I know is Lego. And even before we got our first NES system, which again was given to us, so it was a used one from another family. My actual first foray into video gaming was an old PC, which I think was a Commodore 64. My dad had gotten used from somewhere, some guy at work, I think, or something like that. It was also technically our first foray into computers, my introduction to them, and it basically was a very large monitor with connected to a tape deck and a box, the brains. But the tape deck is what actually ran the programs. And basically the only capabilities we had on it were some word processing capabilities. It was like a small word processor program, and Hangman. And it ran off of a tape deck, amazingly enough. Some of you who are alive now will never probably understand that, yeah, we had PCs that ran off of a tape. And it could only run one program at a time based upon whatever program you put into the tape deck. And funny thing is the tape would play forward. You'd be able to play Hangman, you know, and then eventually the tape deck would run out of tape. And you would have to flip it over to the B side, A side to B side, and then you can keep playing again. And the program would pause in the meantime, middle of that, for you to be able to flip the tape over. Yeah, that was our first PC and first video game, technically. Then at a certain point after the NES, my family, or, you know, I managed to score a Game Boy from some kid at school, used for something. I don't remember what I traded for it, but you know how it was. What you do at school. I might have traded some Legos for it. I don't even know. I might have given some money. I don't remember, to be honest, but I did manage to score a Game Boy from somebody at school. And then my first game or system that I bought, that my family bought, brand new, I had to pay for half of it, and it was based upon my grades. My parents had said, yeah, if you get good grades in school, we'll buy you a Nintendo 64. And let me say that changed everything. Probably the best Mario game ever to be in existence. I know we're not on top of Legos right now, but I've already said that this channel will go into other things. And right now, we're not encountering anything new. And if we do, I stop and pause, as you've already, or, you know, stop talking about what I'm doing, mention whatever's going on down here. But, yeah, Nintendo 64, with the Mario 64, which I was just going to say, probably the best Mario game ever to exist. You know, even with the NES, I played the original Mario. I beat it. I played the second Mario. I beat it. I played the third Mario. I beat it. But Mario 64 was worlds ahead of its time with regards to any other system. You know, the fact that it was 3D, it was like one of the first 3D games to come out. It just, I don't even think I can have any better memories of a video game. You know, it tops one of my, I do have some other games that I think are groundbreaking, that are my favorite of all time, that I've played, that will top Mario itself, but not of the console generation. Mario 64 is the best game ever in consoles. Hands down. Can't argue against me. I've already overruled everyone. Just kidding. You're entitled to your opinion too, but that is my personal opinion. And, you know, at that point, not long after that, I got my first PC, personal PC, that wasn't, you know, for the family. And again, if you can even count that first PC that I mentioned just a minute ago, I got a compact, or no, it was a Hewlett-Packard from Compact USA, I think was the store. They don't exist anymore. They went out of business a while ago. And you know, that was the time when you would have to, you know, you would dial up modems. You'd have to listen to the great noise anytime it dialed up. Nobody could get on the phone while you were online, because if they picked up the phone, it would disconnect you. You would spend an entire evening downloading a demo for something like Civilization, which turned out to be one of my favorite first games. Civilization 2 was my Call to Power. It was probably one of my first favorite games, as well as Descent. I loved the Descent series, but you know, I played those both on my very first PC ever, personal PC. And yeah, so, but before that, you would download demos for them on dial-up internet, and you know, you'd be able to play. You know, those demos would be only 100 megabyte or 200 megabyte max, but it would take you all night. I would actually do it during when I was sleeping, because then I knew nobody would use the phone during that time, and I'd spend all night downloading those demos. And compared to nowadays, that's nothing, right? They don't even barely do demos for PCs, for games anymore. They've started to make a slight comeback on Steam, I've noticed. Where like you could get the first level or something, you know, for free. That never, for a long time, you wouldn't even find those anymore. But again, nowadays you can download a 100 gigabyte file in less time it took to download that demo. Well, for sure, because that demo would take all night. You can download a 100 gigabyte file now in 5 minutes if you got a fast enough Ethernet connection or internet connection. But yeah, how the times have changed, right? What I find crazy about this whole situation is we went from that to where we're at now, and people are still extremely impatient. They're even more impatient, I think, now than they were back then. If kids and people nowadays had to deal with what we had to deal with growing up, maybe they wouldn't be so impatient about things, you know. But again, personal opinion, not going to get into those sort of things in these sort of conversations or whatnot. But yeah, the times have definitely, you know, it's amazing. We have all this technology, it makes things faster for us, and yet we still don't have time. Not sure if this is a Lego or not. It does look like one. And I don't know if I could tell if there's a Lego brand, a trademark inside of that stud area, but I'm going to put it to the side. Looks like a tassel, basically. But we'll look it up on Bricklink. I do know this is Lego. I've looked at it before on Bricklink. So it makes me think those purses we saw earlier, you know, from other boxes are indeed Lego. Color and consistency of the plastics seems to be the same. We'll research it and find out. Okay. Kind of looks like a Lego knife. For spreading it, put it in the Bricklink pile. It's the exact same color as those little cupcake bottoms we found that I do think are Lego also. Oh, this is not a Lego. No branded studs at the top. I almost would have missed that just because of, you know, you get into a rhythm, a routine of putting everything in the box and a tendency to miss it. And then, of course, it's the next piece. But that's why I try to check the studs for the Lego branding as much as possible. Hair. Interesting. It is branded Lego there underneath, though, so we'll throw that in there. There's another marble, although this is almost has a soccer ball pattern on it, on the outside of it. And there actually might be a brand right there. Yep, it does indeed say Lego right above my fingernail there. So this is a Lego piece. But I am nearing the end of this bag. Still a little ways away though because of the quantity of small pieces here at the bottom, but I am nearing the end. Not sure what this is. It's got numbers on the outside of it, but no Lego brand. I don't know if it's a... Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'm gonna put that in the garbage, but I don't think that's a Lego at all. This little fork might be, though. Couldn't same with that little knife we ran into earlier. But we'll check that on Bricklink. And if you in the comments have any questions about some of the pieces I'm throwing in without discussing them or making mention of them as to why or whatnot, how I know, just let me know. Mostly it's probably because I've encountered these in the past and had to look them up on Bricklink. And I already know now because as a result of looking them up once, I know. Am informed that the piece is indeed Lego because I've had to inquire previously. There's another one of them, same color as those knives and the cupcakes that I have to check on Bricklink. Now, I do see the Lego logo all the way down there at the bottom for this purse. So this purse is definitely a Lego. Wait a second. I didn't see where that one landed, though. Oh, wait. That might be it right there. That just dropped further. There it is. Oh, it is indeed Lego. Just maybe it's an older version of that piece because the Lego branding looks slightly different. If you do encounter older pieces, the Lego branding does indeed change over time. The font changed. A few of the other things have changed. Down to maybe 5 or 6 handfuls now. Oh, my dog's dreaming. You may hear him whimper when he does that. Oh, no, he just woke up. I must have known I was talking about him, but his little feet were moving. This is a shell of some sort. Not a real shell. I don't think that's Lego at all. Doesn't look like it attaches to anything, could be held by anything, and therefore likely not Lego. Now, just in case, I'll put it in the Bricklink pile to verify, but I don't think that's a Lego piece. Do not think that this is a Lego. Don't think. I'm 99.9% certain, so it's going to go in the Goodwill box. Somebody will play with that. The number of tan 1x1s that are in here almost makes me think somebody opened a brand new bag of them for some set and never put it together. Because normally you wouldn't find so many of the same piece in a bag like that unless that happened, because nobody's going to go through on the Goodwill side or the donation side, you know, or even the parents who are collecting the toys for the children and separate out all these little pieces from the larger sets. They usually just break them into manageable sizes and then throw them in there. So the fact that there are so many of these in here, loose like this, the same color, and they all look up the same quality, as in, you know, clean, not chewed on edges like we've encountered in that second box, tells me that they just opened some bags of new pieces of new ones of those and never put them together. They're probably brand new, but I can't sell them that way if I'm going to, just because of the fact that they're not in the bag. I can't guarantee it. That's what it comes down to. Only the ones that are in the sealed plastic bags can I guarantee they're brand new. It's another one of them shells. It's probably some form of decoration. That's just a broken spacer at that, so I'm gonna just trash that. Um, this should do it here. This last little bit. Just like him. Okay, I think this is everything. Little hair. Yep. That's it. Oh, wait. Nope. One more missed. Almost missed that one. This is why I checked the bag at the end. I'm not seeing any more. So that's it. That's box number 8. Done. As you can see, if you saw from the height of the boat down there at the bottom, I'll have the Lego, or have the camera focus on the bottom of the box now. We are basically at the height of the boat, pretty much now, with the 2 boxes that we've put in here. So yeah, that's it for box number 8. Hopefully you enjoyed my tales of former video game glory and of movies and whatever else I discussed. Anyway, leave comments if you have any questions, or or enjoy the video. Let me know, and I will see you in the next one, hopefully. Thank you all.